I also stole the time machine image and thought I would take you for a quick spin around Scootle. And of course, after yesterday, the Scootle community. The only thing in this that is going to be a live link today is me, because I didn't want to risk it, and so I'm just showing you some stills. But if you consider Scootle for teachers across Australia is now open to everyone. So in Victoria, regardless of your sector, you can log into Scootle. The Vic government opened it up so that anyone can go in with your Edumail account or your School EDU AU account and get yourself access. Now, the access into Scootle allows you to a whole range of resources that are aligned to the Australian curriculum, but of course there's more than that, because there's only 4 subject areas in the Australian curriculum that are currently being aligned. As you know, that would be maths, English, science and history. Thank you. And we have also got a range of websites that have been brought in that are CAL-free that you can use. And of course, from many moons ago, there is the TLF objects that are Flash-based, and yes, an iPad browser version is coming. When you log in, you get this page, so you don't have to ask anyone in your school, you don't have to have an admin to get you in, and I thought that that makes it easier. You can see across the top here that at the end the Scootle community is just opened up, which is going to be quite an event, I think. This is how we see Scootle now, and when you go in, you'll be able to browse topics, etc., and find content in there that you can then put into learning paths. In terms of Scootle, I know that it's linked into Improve, and I know there's a few people in the room who have issues about Improve. I'd like people to rethink how you can use Improve, because it's actually a question tool builder as well, and it doesn't have to be a formative assessment tool in terms of just setting a test that are in there. They have loaded in the NAPLAN tests. It was something the ministers asked for, and so they are all there. And but the thing that I love about Improve itself is the fact that you can actually build quizzes inside of it. So if you haven't investigated it because you're a bit turned off by the fact that it was NAPLAN, have a look at it, because as a tool itself you can deliver those tests to students individually or as groups, and it might be something that will help you along the way in terms of building your curriculum plan and maybe assessing them before you start a topic to see how much they know. But I think most teachers are creative, and you can find a use for something that's sat in front of you. I always like this. I knew Richard was in the audience, and I know that our content repositories are definitely a balancing act in curriculum. But I just thought that we could let you know that there are 20,000 resources now sitting in there, and one of the ones that I love the most is the ICT Toolkit for Everyday Learning. And if you haven't seen that, I really do suggest that you go and have a look. It's been worked on by a range of teachers across Australia. It was a project that was launched by the Minister last year, and it's now in Scootle for people to access. It was behind a password when it was first launched, and I know the Victorian teachers weren't able to access it via the Ultranet, and now through Scootle you can access it, and I think it's really worth a look. This is just a range of the content that is there. Nearly every single cultural organisation in Victoria has got content in Scootle, and ESA didn't choose it. The cultural organisations themselves chose it. So they've taken the wealth of their materials for teachers, put them inside Scootle, and we give you then the links that you go out into those organisations and you see that. The reason why we bring it in through Scootle for you is so that you can curate your own content, but we also pay for the copyright and licensing behind that, so that that frees up a lot of the education money within government so that they can then spend it elsewhere. So from that point of view, although CAL-free doesn't affect you greatly in your classrooms, but it does affect the overall budgets, as we know, are getting slashed across this country. So for national government to be paying for that, that's been a wonderful thing. There's a whole range of providers that are coming through, especially in the arts and especially for primary. The Song Room has just developed an amazing amount of content, and that's sitting inside the Scootle repository. Because I know a lot of primary school teachers, as much as we love teaching the arts, we really don't have a lot of background perhaps in drama or in the teaching of music, and they've gone and done a lot of YouTube videos and instructional teaching around how you would. My favourite at the moment is the ukulele, because I've got one at home and it's been teaching me, so that's been good. This is a learning path. For those of you who want to deliver curriculum to your kids online, learning paths allow you to build the learning sequence, and then you can send that to your student. They get a code, they can log in, and then they can work on it. There's also collaborative activities within Scootle, which has been sitting in there for quite a while, but no one really has been using it. And as this has just become a new part of my role, I'm amazed at the functionality of it. Yes, 1 minute to go, and I'm just going to speed now. That's the everyday learning. Here we go. So collaborative activities are definitely worth looking at, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention to you that the Scootle community has been launched yesterday. You can log in via Scootle, so if you've got access to Scootle, then you've got access to the Scootle community. The great thing about the Scootle community is that it is open nationally to every single teacher, pre-service teacher. You can see Simon up the back side on his screen. It's a really clean look. It actually allows you... That's not it. This is it. So it's a clean look. You can create a network. You can create the network. You can join a network. You can ask people to create the network for you. TeachMeet can have their own network in there. They can then have the state's networks in there as well. This is probably the first time Victorian teachers are allowed to be able to speak to other teachers nationally outside of their schools. Okay, I think it's amazing. I think the fact that yesterday I was talking to someone in South Australia and I was allowed to was really good. Okay, so it's really worth jumping on board, and it will only become a great collaborative tool is if teachers get inside of it and have a look at it. And I think, give it the benefit of the doubt, it's, they said they were only going to invite people in from the champions. They put the link on Scootle. Anyone who's got a Scootle login can go into the community. So yesterday, when they thought they'd have 60 people in there, they got over 300. So it's growing. People realise it's there. So it's something you should definitely look into. Done.
Great work.